recording. Still a bit cold. This video is coming in straight after the last one we did with the cube. Don't know what cube it is. Atrine, I think. Can't read it from here. Anyway, we've got another one. The heating is on, so if you saw the other one, you'll know I was struggling at the beginning of the video and the content was awful. Got the heating working again. Now the propane's defrosted, or the butane's defrosted. I can't remember which is which, but anyway. Just tell me on the side of what that says, I think. Nope, doesn't. But anyway, one of them freezes, one of them doesn't. But should have been using patio gas, wasn't. Using summer gas. And it froze and I got cold. Anyway, right, so we're trying to clear a bit of a backlog because I've got some more coming. So we've got the cube done. That was fairly straightforward. We've got this one. It's a ladies 26-inch mountain bike. Romet. Jolene. Never heard of them, to be honest. But there are a lot of bike companies entering the market that I've never heard of before. Looks like it's got a lot of own branded parts on. Own branded forks, but I would put money on that they are Suntour SR forks. Square taper crank, just standard extrusion aluminium rims, aluminium frame, and Shimano 7-speed. I can't see it, but I would guess it's an Alva or whatever they are. What's wrong with it? Don't know yet. It's been here that long I've forgotten. I seem to remember its gears actually. Because I'm turning these around back to back, I normally have a quick look at the bike first so I can give you an indication of what's coming, but I've absolutely no idea. But I will put money on cable's knackered, or there's a cable dragging. It is exposed. Oh God. Right, I don't know if you can see that. That's fairly loose. So I suspect what's happened is the cable's slipped, or we've got a frayed cable, probably where it's mounted at a guess there, and it's just pulled through. These aren't the best gear shifters going in the world. The other ones they used to do were a lot better. They're all integral with the brake lever, but the other ones used to be a separate unit that was bolted onto a bottom of a metal brake. They were a little bit more robust. These new ones, where the whole thing's one piece, just seem slightly less robust, shall we say. But let's do the usual M check, and we'll find out what else is wrong with it, because he did say give it a once over and a check, so we'll see. Right, just need to keep an eye on the time as well, because it's my turn to make food tonight. Food's already made, but I've just got to go and dish it up. Right, there's a lot of play on them front brakes. For starters, they are what we call ball bearing discs. They actually look well adjusted, but they just want adjusting to take that out of it. So we'll have a look at that. Same thing again, I'll say again, we haven't got to the main bit yet, but that's all frayed. I don't know if you can see that. I'll show you that when we get up on the stand. So the brake cable's absolutely mullered there. I don't think I'm going to be able to rewrap that, so the best thing I can do is just swap that. I do have some old style mountain bike spare cables, so we'll shove them on. They're only a couple of quid each, so that's fine. It just wants tightening up a bit really. It does look well adjusted, which is unusual for these ball bearing style disc brakes. You tend to find that always pushing the disc across, but this one actually looks pretty good. So no head play, that's good. Suspension's good, that's working. Let's just check the bearings. Wheel spins, no sign of any buckles, so that's good. Headset's good. Let's move down to the bottom bracket. I can see the chain looks very rusty. That cable is absolutely mullered. Doesn't look like it's gone all the way through the clasp, but I bet you it has pulled through some. We'll probably see that when we get it up there, unless it has genuinely. It feels like it's moving all right. There's no play in the bottom bracket. The shifter does work eventually, but that explains why we couldn't change gear, because we can't. It's just that we're having to almost get it through an index, and it's not doing anything. So that'll be why it's not. Devs isn't able to change gear. That's better. Saddle was slightly out of line. That really annoys me. Right, so up to the saddle. Saddle's good, no movement there. Back wheel bearing's good. Back brakes are good, actually slightly better adjusted. Again, no sign that the disc's been pulled across. We will have to test the gears are moving for the back, so all we need to do is just check it when it's up on the ramp, or on the lift, or whatever you want to call it, the stand. We'll just check them out. So at the moment all we're looking at is front brake cable needs replacing, and oh no, what we didn't check. That's good. That's good too. One thing we didn't check. Ooh. Let's just check the chain. Can't see the chain being an issue. I know it's not had a massive amount of use, this. That chain's fine. So all good there. Let's just see what's going on with that. So it might be, at worst case, we're changing a gear cable and a front brake cable. Nice and simple. Famous last words. Right, so I've just liberated you from the stand. Come on, focus. That's better. It's moaning a bit there. Don't know what it's moaning at. There. So that's pretty bad. What I'll do is I'll just bring you around to this side as well. Come on, focus. Focus on that, not on that. Yeah, that's it. You can see that's got a massive amount of play in it. I mean, it's just flopping around. While we're here, we might as well have a quick look at the front one so you can see what I was saying about the front one. Come on, focus. Yeah, that's pretty chewed up as well. So we'll get that swapped out. Everything else looks good actually. So I don't know why we're having a bit of a focusing issue going on here. That's better. It seems to be the autofocus appears to be sulking. There we go. It's behaving itself now. Maybe I turned it off by accident. See if it behaves itself now. I think I must have caught this. It's got a touch screen on this, and it's yeah, that's much better. There you can see the mess that's in. Right, so let's stick in the stand. Recording. I think what we'll do first is see if I can strap up with the. I'll have to put an extension strap on. Yeah, I need an extension strap. We need a longer strap. We need a bigger boat. Alright. Let's just put that through. Alright, safety straps on. I think what we'll do first, are we doing what we're supposed to be doing? Yeah. So, best thing I can do, and this is going to be really difficult, is just see what happens if we do try and change gear. God, you have to push that so far, it's almost impossible. Right, so we're through the first index and nothing's happened. We're on to the second index, and it's jamming and bouncing. It is up on the second gear, and it is having a fair effort to getting onto the top. So it is on the top, but that's way too slack. So Well, that's interesting. Right, so I think possibly somebody might have been playing with the adjusters here, because that adjuster is stopping that going down to where it needs to go. And that might also explain why we've got such a right, so I think it's this one. We'll know because it'll start moving. Yep. Something to do with this, that's it. That pedal's very tight as well. Right, that's taken some of the slack, but it's not taken all the slack out. So let's see what that does for us, range of movement wise. So that's gone straight up. Oh, that's jammed. Right, that's the first one. Yeah, it's not moving it across enough to take it up. Says if you put a bit more finger on it, but you shouldn't have to push it that far. And it's really jamming on that one. That's interesting. Yeah, at least some of these gear setups that they put on some of these bikes are a bit... So what we're getting is that actually this is almost too far across for this top gear, which is why it's jamming. But I don't know if it's hit maximum. Yeah, it's hit maximum. I'm just going to take a bit more out of this. So let's try that again. Yeah, see, that's weird. There's a bit more going on here than meets the eye. I've not come out of the... Hold on a second. It might have been so loose it's come out of the slider. Yeah, it has. Right. So, see if I can get you underneath here to have a look at this. That's a good spot. I don't think you're going to be able to see that because the light. Right, so there's a groove that's supposed to sit in, and it's in the middle, and it's not, it's off to one side. It's so slack, it's jumped out, which is why you have to keep tension on with some of these. So what we're going to do is we'll just have a quick fiddle with that. And get it back in the groove again. So let's take that off. Manually finesse it back into that groove. Still don't think I've got it. This is so hard to do. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to go that way? Go on then, we'll go that way. Oh God, it smiles off. What the? Oh, that's not. It's in the right groove. There is only one groove. I don't know what that other one's for. It must be for a braking system. No, it is in the right groove after all that. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry, now I've got it under. I can see what it's. Yeah, right. So you can see it is in the groove. That groove I thought it was supposed to go into is actually where they split, so it's where you've got another cable going down there. So I think all we need to do first is just take this slack out and then see where we are with that. and then try and work out why it's not articulating properly, because it's definitely I suspect somebody's adjusted this to make it work, but the adjustment itself is stopping it from working, if that makes sense. Sparkly water bottles. Right, best thing I can do with this, let me just pause you. Right, 10mm spanner, which will get 10mm socket. So 10mm socket. That's not a 10mm, no, that's an 8mm. Or 9, no, it'll be a 9 because they're awkward, aren't they? Nope, it's an 8, I was right, it was an 8. I don't have it else, I do have an 8mm socket. No, I was right first time, it's a 9mm. Why didn't that 9mm socket fit up? That's weird. Huh. Sockets were the wrong way round. Got an Imperial in a 9mm. Still loose. If that's in the wrong place. Perhaps not. We need a pair of pliers on that one. This is where I can't find a pair of pliers, and the room's in a right mess. Nope. 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 Yes. Got one half decent pair of small snub-nosed. That's better. There's a little bit of tension in it now. Right, so just out of curiosity, let's see what that does for us. Right, so we are all the way down. Nothing else. Right, so I think we need to drop that further. There we go. Still got some slack, that's okay. So because the indexing's out, and I think somebody had artificially adjusted that up, and I think if we tighten that up again now, it will not move it as far when it goes to the next position and the next position. So let's just see what happens. Right, and that should. Do we have an adjuster on here? Don't think it comes with it, that must be it. Just seeing if we've got any slack on the adjusters. So it's changing up and down okay now. I think what we need to do is just take a bit out of that. I know it seems counterproductive, but because I've just introduced that slack again, but that's actually quite tight now. For some reason it doesn't want to adjust backwards. I don't know if they're snapped actually. Oh, we've hit the base. I think that's it. It's not going to go any lower than that. I don't think. It just looks like it is because you don't normally get to see the adjuster. Right. So let's just try that again. Right, that's a lot better. It's not making as much noise. Let's just cycle these through. Right, so this back one's not moving well either. No, it's not going all the way down that. I just might want some oil on it. Yeah, this one's not adjusted right either. That's not bent, is it? It looks alright. These, the amount of play that's in the mechanism on them, it's they're not brilliant. It's the Turney. Yeah, the whole thing's plastic. That's the problem with them. There's too much flex in them. So it's alright going up, but it's just doesn't want to come back down. Yes, this is too tight. See if that works. I've taken a bit out of it now. Oh, well at least it goes up and down now. Just come on. Yay, success. If you can see that. Right, so it is going off now. Probably needs a little bit more. Oops. Yeah, that's not. Yes. It's difficult to tell whether the tension's right on that. So we're just gonna slacken it off first and just make sure we're actually where we should be. A minute. So I would say that is slightly low. So we need to adjust that up slightly, which probably explains why there's tension on there where there didn't need to be. Can't see which one it is. It's got to be this one. So it's this too far this way. It's pulling the chain quite a lot. You're supposed to have it slightly preloaded, but that's a bit more than it should be. Doesn't help the chain's as oily as anything as well. Right. Let's just make sure we are indexed down. These are the challenging ones to set up. The lower down the range you go, the harder they are. And don't want to say this, but you don't get much lower than this. That rivet looks like it's half hanging out. There's a rivet round this side that's shoved it back in. I'm not sure it's supposed to be like that. Right, I just need to put some tension back on this now. Right. Yeah, it just doesn't, it's just not. Yeah, it's definitely, it is not playing well. I'd almost say there's something snagging up somewhere. That's pulling across there. But I think that's just the way they are. That's almost too short, that piece, because that's pulling across, and it might be that it's snagging on there. You can see it's at an angle. So let's wind it back in again, because it might be so we've had to wind it out so far. I hate these things, they're never consistent in how they wind in and wind out. Just wind it in as far as it will go. I suspect that's what it is, we've wound it all the way out. It is a bit tight though. Alright, I think that is as far in as it will go. Let's do the same as we did before, slacken it off and crank it in again, what we did the other one. Trouble is, you've got to be careful with these because you might end up over cranking it. You actually end up pulling on the derailleur and you put it into the first index position, which isn't where we want it. Right, there is a little bit of slack there that we need to take up. That's a lot better. We're just starting to ride now, so I don't put much more on. See, it's started to ride. Keep going until it doesn't ride. Yeah, see, now it's not. Two, 3, 4, 5. There we go. It's just there. I think we'll get that last bit with a bit of play. I don't want to put any more on. It's but if anything, I'll just turn it back slightly. Right, that's okay. Stick it back in the middle. I'm not going to touch that anymore. What I will do though is I will put a bit of oil on it because I think that is not helping us a great deal. So I'll get a bit on the cable. Oh, that's better. See if that works a bit better now. Yeah. She's actually going up on its own now. I'm not having to assist it. Down, 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 down. Yep. We'll do those. We'll just put a bit on here because I think it is dragging on its own bearings a bit. That's certainly changing a lot better than it was. Are we still? Yeah, we're still recording. Right, so let's switch our focus on the other bit now. We might as well do the same for this. Let's put a bit of grease on it just in case we've got any drag going on. Well, that changes a lot better now. Right, so we are catching the outer edge. I think we can put a bit more on that. If I can work out which one it is that's... I think we've got it actually there. I don't think that was the... I don't think this cable being in a bit of a state was the main problem. We could certainly try and straighten that back up and... yeah, I think we might have to just stick a new cable on that. Question is, have I got any? Not holding the ratchet on that one, and I think it's because it won't go, yeah, it won't go any further across. Physically won't go any further across. It's interesting. That is interesting. Some quirk with the way that cable routes. Now I think I know why. That's where it is. I still think that's in the wrong place. I think my gut feeling earlier was right about that. That is in the wrong place. And they've put it together wrong. The problem is, as you crank it across, there's a cable retainer guard on the other side that's actually pushing the cable into the part of the retainer, so it's not in the right place. So I think this needs turning over 180 degrees. And I think the retainer is supposed to be on this side, and then the cable can come through and go down the other side. Flipping green thread lock. Oh, that's weird. That retainer isn't part of the metal thing, it's part of the stud itself. The battery went dead, but it didn't even warn me. And we've just had a few issues as well. If I just knock the pilot light out, so I've given up with the thing. I'm just going to pop the that out. There should be a plug in here. They're usually a screwdriver end, but this feels like it's a rubbery gromity thing, which is good because the actual mounting screw's in the way. Yeah, it's a rubbery gromity thing. That's not helpful. There we go. Yeah, I gave up with that altogether in the end, so we'll stick a new cable on. We'll have to order some more of them. We're cracking through them. I think we've used nearly all of them up now. So we need some more Shimano inner cables. Whee! So I'm almost tempted to redo the back cable and then use the back cable for the front. In fact, I might do that. I put the thing that I need back down. It is. So now that we've got this nicely working, we're going to rip it off again. So it's an old trick. We need to replace the front one. There's nothing actually. The back one, I suspected it was dragging anyway. So what we'll do is we'll put a new one in the back, because it's the back that's most likely to have issues, and it's usually in this back section. In fact, it had. Look at that. There was a broken cable, and it was jammed inside the mechanism at the back. So I bet you that's what's been causing all the problems with it not indexing straight. So we'll just chock that down, and then do the same thing. Pop that rubber grommet out of there, which is not the easiest thing to do with cold hands. Pop it in the parts pot. Have to get a poker on it. There, you can see there's some of these are a bit. Come on. Where's my pointy poker gone? I don't know. Will do. There we go. So that's the new back cable. And this one is the new front cable. The good thing about this is you can actually see the hole that I'm aiming at. So I'm just feeling for drag on this to make sure that there's no problems in this. It's usually you get them further down if we're going to have a drag. That's it, you disappear in there. It is actually just probably a tad too long, this cable as well, but we'll leave well enough alone. Right. That needs to come up through there. Come on. Feels good. I mean, these are Jaguar cables, so there shouldn't be any issues with them, even if the end bits are a bit ropey. It doesn't want to stay in there, does it? Well, if I've got a longer one of them. A bit longer. Should we try that one? Might just help us that bit. It'd help if I wasn't trying to feed the old one in. Why didn't you tell me I just picked up the old one? That's it, that feels good. So I'll just drop that in there. Drop it in the back. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, so what I was saying was it's with these cables, it's not a, sometimes it's not a bad idea to do if you've got a full length cable. It's more than likely that the other cable is going to pack out at some point. The back cables are more susceptible to going, so if you'd have to replace the front cable, it's quite a common thing to put the new cable on the back cable and then use the back cable on the front, because when they go at the back, so you're cutting that section off anyway and putting it round the front, so it's less of an issue, and you're kind of getting two cables for one then. That's still slacker than I would like it. Bit of slack in there. I think we can live with that. Right, so we just use this one now, stick it in the front. bet you're screaming at the screens, aren't you? You put it round the outside of the tape. We do it right because we do it twice. That's okay. Reasonably happy with that. Just got the right amount of tension on, so I think we'll call that a win in the end. Probably did it better than the first time. Get that 2 notches out. One more. Actually, that's working a lot better now. So putting that cable in has made a massive difference. Sorry, I don't think you could see any of that. Give a quick whirl around. There we go. Front thing's grinding like a good one, but there's not a lot we can do with that. It does need to be that low. Well, actually, it doesn't. We mucked a bit. Right, it's just starting to drag. I think it's unlikely you'd be in that gear, but quick while we're ahead with that one. Just grab the other one, swap them over. Just going to get a quick once over, just check it's okay. So feel for any kinks and then just take them out if there are any, massage them out. Reasonable quality cable, this one actually. It's not fully rounded. I think it is stainless though. But these are Jaguar cables, so I think they're probably the lower, the general purpose mountain bike ones. I think they call them just the sport ones. They're not the Pro Plus or anything like that. Just trim that end off there because it's a bit ropey. Right, same thing again. I'm just going to feed it through. Don't let me forget to put these bungers in. looking for the hole. Can't see it on this one. That's it. So again, what we're doing is we're just feeling to make sure there's no graunchiness down any of these. You shouldn't get them in the top, to be honest. And these Jaguar cables generally, the ends aren't that bad. Though these, what's weird is they're Jaguar. Actually, I'm not sure they are. Yeah, they are Jaguar. You can see the Jaguar. It's just that the ends aren't normal Jaguar ends. These are kind of the cheaper kind of ones you get on Clark's or something like that, or generic, so which is unusual. That's the weird bit I can't work out. There we go, that's through. Feels a little bit graunchy in places there. Let's just take some bend out of it. No, it's okay. We weren't having massive issues with play in this one anyway though, so I'm getting tired out to packing. I haven't put the adjuster back on and I can't find where I put it. Oh, that's right, because we were going to have a look at it, weren't we? It's in here somewhere. Thought it was in here somewhere. Let me bring you back when I find the adjuster. Right, found it. It wasn't missing, and I hadn't knocked it off. I had just put it on the drawer of the tool chest that I shut the drawer of. Right, so I'm just checking it's got a metric thread, because I think the threads are slightly chewed up, either on this bit or in the, yeah. So the threads are slightly eaten up in there. So we're just going to run that through by hand. You've got to be careful because this is very thin aluminium. Yeah, they've seen better days. And I'm not sure about what condition the threads are like in there as well. So that explains why that wasn't working. Lots of airing going on today. I just need a one of those days. No. Bite the bullet and just hold on to it. Again, like I said, I've got to be careful with this so I don't grip it too hard, which is why I'm using the really flimsy pliers, because I can't grip anything too hard in these. Come on. Just cleaning the threads off. Right, question is, with a little bit of lube, I'm tempted to put a bit of copper slip on this actually, because I don't know what the metal is that it's going into in there, and I suspect that might have been part of the problem. So let's just get that out of the way so I'm not fighting that at the same time. So I just want to see what the threads are like in there, because I suspect the threads in there have been chewed up as well. Yep, they've been eaten as well. So before we carry on making a mess of these threads, have to rerun. Come on! Just rerun these threads again with that bit of copper slip on. Yeah, they're great now. So I suspect we've got the same thing in there. They've cross-threaded it when they put it together. Let's just put that safe over there. Get the This is going to be slightly difficult. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do this. Don't think I've got anything that'll work on the end of there, socket wise. Nope. Ooh, you beauty. So I'm just going to re-thread that, clean the threads out. And I suspect that should fix a lot of our issues. Just bite the bullet and shove that in. Oh, look at that, like butter now. That's better, it goes in, it didn't go in before. Right, so just wind it out one notch. Quickly grab that, because I think I'm going to get some rude messages in a minute about lack of tea. Yay! Whee! That's it. So and go under the Velcro strap this time. Nice. Oh yeah. At least I can actually get the cable tight now. Even if I can't do up the flipping screw. Come on, drop into that recess, there we go. Find my way past the green thread lock. Oh, come on. Put some ends on. Oops. Trouble is, I'm still used to using that super wide angle lens where I can just wander around all over the place. So, right. We do need to. That's very tight. What that screwdriver? It's still not doing it. I just can't see how that can work and get past there. So I'm to pull it so far round. It's actually crashing into the pivot, and that's why it's not working. Just going to see if I can move it out of the way slightly. trouble is it's bent it now. He's just going to keep on doing it, so I'm going to take the executive decision to take it over the top of that. Really don't think that works well for this application at all, the way they've got that. Because it's properly kinked the cable already, so you can see it is going to break the cable eventually. Come on, stop being awkward. That's okay. I think we've just about cracked it. It is what it is. The Turneys are not the easiest to set up. Let's get you right the way back where you can see. I would say to anybody that's buying a mountain bike, little bit more. Get something with slightly better gears on. They're good when they first come out, and they're good for what they are. You know, Sunday riders. If you're going to be putting some mileage on this and going on long rides, you're going to start to wear the parts down quite quickly. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a pivot there, and that pivot is actually fouling the back of the swing arm there. I don't even think I've got another one I could put on. It just seems completely the wrong design for the thing. It would have been better off with a top loader or a longer arm on that. It just can't clear that. So, and that's what's causing the issues there. It's when it's rocking that way. That is coming down so far that it's jamming into that. I can't even see that this is out too far and it needs adjusting. But I don't see as there is any adjustment there anyway. So, who knows? But it's as good as it's going to get now. So, if we put it up on there, so that's up onto the, that goes up nice, that to that one, and then it goes up onto that top one, and this is the important thing, it goes down and it goes up. You don't have to push it far to get it up. This bottom one, you do have to push it quite a long way to get it to go up, but there's not a lot I can do about that one. But it's certainly needs to have changing, which it wasn't before. We just seem to have the right amount of tension on them now, so we'll see how we go with that. If not, it might be that we maybe suggest that they change that for a different one. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, you could probably get a second-hand Dura race, shifters, levers, you know, and everything, you know, for maybe 30 quid. I mean, it's mainly these that are the issue, and they're only 8-speed as well, so you're limited what you can do. In fact, it's 7-speed, so you're limited to what you can do. So there's only so many. In fact, Dura-Race don't do it. Dura-Race is kind of the lowest of the ones that are kind of, you know, they will take the hammer. But they start at a 9-speed, I think, possibly an 8-speed if you go back a generation. So, you know, it is what it is. Right, let me just switch that gear cable out, the brake cable out down there, and then we will wrap. Didn't start you going then, did I? We got a red light now. Yeah, we've got a red light now. So I've just popped the cable out, but it's so badly frayed I can't even pull it back through the thing, so we're just going to give it some snip. Bin. Put in a Jaguar one. Just feel for raunchiness as well. I just feel a bit tight down there. There wasn't any issues with it working. It's only a short run as well, so I'm not really that concerned. Lucky, because this is the last one of these I've got, so I'm probably not going to bother ordering anymore because I don't get a lot of call from them anymore. There's not many people got mountain bike or BMX style ones. Road bikes, yeah, we've still got loads of rim brake road bikes coming in, but that's the other thing with these, is you have to flipping manually pick them up and feed them in, because they behind me. You have to generally pull them quite a long way to get them to work. So you have to manually handball this up, which really irritates me. Not all of them are like this, it's generally the Shimano and the Tex are like that. That was a good guess, it's not a million miles away. Got plenty of adjustment left in there as well, so I don't need to do anything to adjust these. So when you adjust that, it moves the pad that way. When the pad on the inside wears, you adjust that thing there to bring it across. So what I'm looking for is just when I put these on, that it's not shifting the pad. So just take that off now. That's really nice, that one. There you go. I'll just stick a little bit more in there. Oops, I did it the wrong way. I'll be honest, I don't think front brakes get used a lot on this one. And stick an end on it if it fits. So just take a bit more of that off. Got to be careful with these that they don't end up in the rotor, so it's always best to cut them a bit shorter than you would like, and just tweak them slightly out. I mean, let's face it, you're not the if you get to you're not going to suddenly need more, so you can cut them as short as you want, but sometimes they get that short that it doesn't give you any room to do anything if you need to take the slack off to do some maintenance. Right, so that's got a new end on it, so that shouldn't get all fuzzy now like the other one was. Just check that one. That one's good. So I think all in all, I think that's it now. I feel good. It feels good. Maybe put a bit more on than that. You can adjust them on the head as well, which is looking nuts, not brilliant on that. Feels good. Yep, nice and squeaky. Right then, so let's do the wrap on this. I can't bother to get the stool out. Rub it. Jolene. Jolana. She's done. Put up a bit of a fight, but they always do, these Tourneys. Or the Alters, or whatever they Altaris is the other one. But got a new cable on it. Switched them around, new cable front, newish cable on the back, and then we sorted the brakes out. Back brakes were fine. Front brake cable that was frayed, I've done that. Everything else was good. Headset bearings were good. There's no play there. Pedals a bit stiff. As I said, I think this one might be going down the road soon, and Debs might be getting treated to a new bike. Well, she should do anyway, because she's doing enough riding now. So it's definitely worth it, spending a bit more money now. Now you know you like it. That's what these bikes are good for. They're good for Sunday riders. People go to Sherwood Pines once a year, or Centre Parks once a year, or they go for a ride in the summer down the towpath with the kids. They're spot on for that. If you wanted to regularly ride somewhere like Sherwood Pines, or you're going to be regularly doing mountain biking or trail riding every other weekend, banging the miles in, you're probably better off spending a bit more money, because these bikes are great, but the components on them haven't got high mileage in them, and I think we're starting to see that. There's a bit of play on this back derailleur there, which is causing us some issues, and I just think the whole design application for this one here it just doesn't work on that particular mounting. There's just not enough clearance for that cable, and that's why we're having issues with it. I can't adjust it where I should be adjusting it, because I can't get the cable tension right, because if I put the tension right, it's just jamming into that pivot point at the back of there, and there's no other way to run that cable. But there it is. It's another bike. She can go down the road now. Not a 0 parts job, but just 2 brake cables, so £7.50 for the Shimanos. It's probably a bit of overkill, but they are Jaguars, so you know, we probably could have got away with some Clarks on there at a £5, because even the Clarks are a £5 now. Front brake cable, it's probably about a tenner, to be honest. So tenner for parts, and it works now. I call that a win. Wish they were all like that. Don't get me wrong, I like the challenging ones. It took some tweaking and fiddling to get it to go, but it's gone in the end. So hope that's been useful. We'll see where this one ends up. Apologies for the camera work again. I'm not paying attention. I am tired. It is cold, and I am still getting used to using a bit more of a proper camera, that I have to set up the shots properly and zoom in and zoom out. There you go, there's a real live zoom in and zoom out. So it is what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching.